One day, you discover that you belong to another family which arranges an unexpected engagement with the biological daughter of the parents who took care of you. The problem is, not only do you begin to like her, but you end up falling in love with the smartest girl in the class and the girl who was once your sister, but now you find out is no longer your sister. So you face the difficult decision of choosing only one of them. Or well, why not all three? The anime starts with our protagonist, Nagi, hanging out with his somewhat strange and peculiar family where he has a terrific Busta sister who always greets him in the mornings. The thing is, his parents mention to him that they will have dinner with his real biological parents. And what the heck is going on here, you might wonder. Well, it turns out that Nagi was mistakenly exchanged at birth for another baby, ending up in the wrong family, a family that has been taking care of him until he turned 16. So, they planned a dinner with the protagonist's parents to exchange the kids or see what they really want to do. So while Nagi gets all dressed up for that dinner, his sister, well, sister, gets somewhat sentimental because she's been sharing her life with him, and him leaving from one day to the next would hurt quite a bit. Although he tells her to relax because he doesn't plan on leaving with anyone as if nothing had happened. Well, Nagi goes about his usual school day and his free time leads him to the restaurant where the meeting will take place, but then he encounters a girl on a bridge who is about to take the leap like any normal person. He acts protectively to save that sweet princess. However, his hands take a different route, touching the girl's pair of melons and saving her in the process. I don't know if this is a reward or punishment. After receiving a slap from the waifu, she introduces herself as Erika, a cheerful, fun girl with good personality, and above all, a famous influencer, or well, she has a few followers. As they get along, they start to realize they have common problems, so they decide to share what's been going on. Erika mentions that she wanted to make a video pretending to jump off the bridge to scare her parents, as they want to engage her to some other dude she doesn't know against her will. As they chat and get along well, they mention the academies they attend, where the protagonist, mentioning his prestigious school, surprises Erika as only super smart people attend that place. This gives the waifu a great idea. So she asks Nagi to be her fake boyfriend so her parents stop insisting she marries someone else. Damn, this dude must be the luckiest in the world. But I don't know if the protagonist is clueless because the dude fearlessly refuses to be her boyfriend as he has no time for lovey-dovey stuff, plus he decides to go meet his parents. But then Erika blackmails him saying she'll send the video she took of him touching her pair of melons to the academy. This forces Nagi to cooperate with her, where the main idea of Erika is to take photos. So after spending some time trying to take good selfies and the girl buying expensive clothes for Nagi, well, everything ends up bad, as in the photos the protagonist looks like he's taken a blow to the groin. The thing is, the girl decides to send the first photo they took, as in that one they seem like a good couple just fooling around. But despite their efforts, Erika's father doesn't believe they're dating. At that moment, three guys show up and harass Erika because they want her affection. The protagonist confronts them and introduces himself as the girl's temporary boyfriend, giving a punch to the guy's face, making them all run away crying like little girls. This makes Erika see that not only is the protagonist intelligent, but he's also handsome, so she thinks that what she needs to do to her fiancé is to give him a punch to cause a commotion so he won't marry her. The girl says goodbye to Nagi as it's impossible for them to meet again. I don't think so, as Nagi arrives at the dinner and meets his wealthy parents, who tell him that they've agreed that the daughter of the parents who took care of him should marry Nagi. And that girl is none other than Erika. Coincidence? I don't think so. If things are reversed, the protagonist comes from a wealthy family and Erika from a humble one. The thing is, Nagi now has a love dilemma as he's in love with the smartest girl in his class who said she would be with someone who surpasses her in tests. Besides, he's now engaged, and let's not forget that his sister is no longer his sister, which means he's got options there too. Okay, no. Chapter 2. The next morning, Erika's parents. To avoid confusion, we'll call the parents who take care of Nagi Erika's parents, and the ones who take care of Erika will be called the protagonist's parents. You've been warned. So, they tell Nagi that Erika will come to the house to chat with him. It was the girl's own decision to go to that place. The catch is that everyone is going to work and there'll only be the two of them alone. Woo, it's date night. Akno. Nagi gets all nervous like any man and starts to tidy up his humble abode. The problem is that over an hour passes and Erika still hasn't arrived, so when he leaves the apartment, there she was, sitting and waiting. Turns out, the waifu doesn't know what the heck a doorbell is. Once she enters the house, she doesn't think it's a prank by the protagonist because she doesn't see any places to sit. There are no butlers and the place is very small. So the girl decides to show the protagonist the true luxury of a house and takes him to one of her 6 houses. Nagi, like any man, is blown away by the luxuries in that place. Bathrooms on every floor, huge TVs, and even the dog has a better house than him. Nagi, with some courage, decides to face her and tells her that they can't get married, but she's the first one to say that since, well, she's repulsed by the protagonist, she doesn't want want to be with a poor guy like him. But how doesn't she realize she's the poor one and he's the rich one? The thing is, Erica went with the intention of talking to her parents, but since they weren't there, she decided to kill time. Nagi ends up taking her to the place where they work, which is quite uncomfortable. The girl, seeing everything with disdain, starts shouting that she won't marry the protagonist and neither will she marry anyone she doesn't know. This makes her parents angry and they start arguing among themselves. However, all of this happened in the protagonist's imagination because the guy is so scared that he thinks they're going to start throwing punches. What really happens is that Erica's parents treat her with great kindness. They feed her, talk to her lovingly, compare notes, and even call her younger sister, who's being rebellious and doesn't want to see her. The customers there, upon finding out that the protagonist is engaged to this beauty, celebrate as if there's no tomorrow, but for some reason, Erica runs out of the place and starts crying because she actually wanted to get to know her parents more but didn't have the courage to tell them that. Nagi tells her it's not necessary to say anything because just being there will make her realize how they treat her. So after a good meal and with his sister still not wanting to see her, Nagi accompanies his Busta girl home, and on the way they encounter the protagonist's father, who tells them that he knows they're not really dating yet, but he has a good surprise for them. He takes them in the car and drives them to a house he just bought so that both of them can spend the next 2 weeks living alone. Huge house with a Busta girl, every otaku's dream. Chapter 3. Many of us would be excited to live in such a place with such beauty, but the protagonist is going crazy because for him, accepting this forced marriage is impossible. So he tries to discuss the matter with his biological parents, but it's of no use. Once the father makes a decision, it must be carried out no matter what, and Erica's parents are also convinced. So it was all a macabre plan between parents to get these two crazies to sleep together. But the good thing is that having such a large room with a good bed and little noise at home would help him achieve his goal of studying in peace to be the #1 in the class and conquer hero. The next morning, the life of this beautiful little couple begins. They agreed not to interfere in each other's affairs and that each would lead their normal life when suddenly Erica is heard screaming from the bathroom, a noise that worries the protagonist and makes him rush to see what's happening with his Nalgotic, finding her in a very, very luscious way. The heartbreaking screams were because there was a small animal that scared her, but our protagonist, being a real man, ends up getting scared too because he hates that kind of animal, so the waifu ends up taking it out with her own hands without feeling disgusted. Well, what a brave girl she is. The day continues normally until something tragic happens to the protagonist. He runs out of battery because his phone is the only tool he uses to study, and since he was taken by surprise to that house, he couldn't bring his phone charger. However, Erica's study materials do arrive, so the protagonist begs her to lend him the books so he can continue studying. The girl agrees on the condition that he helps her take some badass photos. And during these photo sessions, they have another stumble where a good photo of both of them comes out. Then they take a photo near the pool where they end up playing with water like crazy. As night falls, they talk about what keeps them motivated to do their things. The protagonist studies to help his parents, and Erica is addicted to social media because she intends to contact someone special. There, Erica also reveals that the material from the boxes was not hers but the protagonist's. Once again, she ended up scamming him. On a normal school day, Nagi must deal with all the rumors circulating due to the war declaration he made to Hiro, plus the students make fun of him for being poor and being a loner. The thing is, when he opens his locker, he finds a romantic letter from Hiro, who asks to meet on the rooftop. The protagonist for a moment thinks it's a scam and simply a joke, although he realized that Hiro often looked at him secretly. Suspicious, don't you think? But well, in the mock exam, the protagonist surpasses Hiro, finishing first. This makes him think that the girl already knew she had lost, and that's why she wanted to see him. So there we see how Hiro looks for her on the rooftop to be surprised that the girl simply declares war on him, as she is very competitive and wants to beat him in everything from now on. The remotivated protagonist wants to keep pushing, but he ends up getting sick, and despite trying to study, he can't do it. Even Erica tried to offer her good medical services, but the guy refuses. Although he ends up fainting in his room, and the noise he made when falling makes Erica help him and take him to his room to take care of him, where she tells him that she admires his dedication to studying. Words that leave the protagonist happy since everyone complains that he's always studying. Chapter 4. Several days pass, and our protagonist, after studying diligently like All Might, receives the exam grades. He's the top of the class, surpassing Hiro by a significant margin. This encourages him to want to confess his love to Hiro. However, every time he tries, he's interrupted by other students at the academy. They spend their time cheering Hiro up as she's feeling down for losing a battle against Nagi. Once again, Nagi receives a letter from Hiro and rushes to the rooftop. With a high ego and a charming demeanor, he proceeds to declare his love to her, only to be rejected. Wait, wasn't the smartest one supposed to get his melons? Turns out she tells him they can't date because she has beaten him more than 10 times, whereas Nagi has only defeated her once. The the protagonist understands her strange logic and tells her he intends to defeat her many more times until she agrees to go out with him. They argue about who is better at things and end up having a race to see who can reach the classroom and grab their backpack first. Hiro wins the race, with the score currently standing at 10-2. But once again, she tells him she can't date him because she's already in love with someone else. So much effort for nothing, right? Back at home, Nagi ponders everything Hiro told him and comes to a logical conclusion. According to him, Hiro was suggesting that when she's about to get married, Nagi should crash the wedding and run away with her to live alone. Erika walks into the room and sees Nagi acting like a fool. She tells him that the 2 weeks are up and it's time for everyone to return home since their parents' plan failed. They reminisce about the good times and each goes their separate way. The catch is when Nagi gets home, the business is closed and there's no one at home. Apparently, some pipes burst, so they're now living in a new, much smaller rental room where barely 3 people can sleep. Since Nagi doesn't know where to stay, he asks his biological father if he can continue using their house, to which he agrees, as practically everything there belongs to Nagi as his real son. Upon arriving, he finds Erika looking sexy eating pizza. She explains that she didn't want to go home because she wanted to see if she could live alone and be as independent as Nagi, who cooks, does laundry, and takes care of all the household chores. So Nagi, in true Shifu style, decides to teach her everything she needs to know to live alone. Meanwhile, Sashi, Nagi's stepsister, decides to visit him and meet her sister. She also takes the opportunity to bring him some things he needs. The sisters are too nervous to talk to each other. Sashi because she thinks her idol sister is too famous to socialize with someone poor, and Erika because she thinks her sister hates her for never being there. To solve this, Nagi gets them to spend time together in the kitchen, which turns into a disaster but brings them closer. This closeness prompts Erika to take her little sister to her room to give her some nice clothes. The sight of her beauty leaves Nagi speechless, and he ends up being trampled by his sister. Punishment or reward? What do you think? Chapter 5. After the crazy day and Hiro's big rejection, the protagonist is depressed and doesn't want to go to study because he doesn't know how he'll face Hiro after being rejected. However, thanks to Erika, he eventually agrees to go study. As usual, when he arrives at the library to study, he runs into none other than Hiro. Hiro is there because she was investigating him a bit and wants to know the study methods he uses. This reinforces the protagonist's romantic ideas, making him think that Hiro is still interested in him and his otter. While they study, the protagonist is very nervous. To ease the tension, he starts a conversation, which seems more like an interrogation. Realizing he's messing up, he excuses himself to the bathroom, where he ends up making a fool of himself by tripping over a book about temples falls, making Hiro very excited because she's a temple stamp collector. They start sharing a hobby, which soon turns into a competition. Soon, classes begin, and the protagonist is ecstatic because he's practically living every Virgo's dream. However, things start to get complicated with the new student who arrives at the academy, who turns out to be none other than Erika. Erika explains to the protagonist that she was expelled from her academy because they saw the photo she uploaded with him. The photo on the bed, a photo she supposedly uploaded by mistake, and despite deleting it, her so-called friends told everything to the administration. She could have saved herself, but on the day she had to explain herself at the academy, Nagi was sick, so she decided to stay and take care of him. And since Nagi's father has a lot of money and influence, he managed to get her into the same academy as his son, where they now promise to keep their engagement a secret. The problem is, since she's famous, the whole school goes crazy, but at the same time, they're afraid to talk to her. The only one who decides to take the step is Hiro. Everything seemed fine until Nagi realizes that if both become friends, Hiro will tell Erika that Nagi confessed to her, and Erika will tell her that she is his fiancée and he'll be in big trouble. So we see the protagonist spying all the time, trying to find the right time to talk to Erika alone, but he never finds the right moment. Although at the end of the day, when he finally could talk to Erika alone, he decides not to because he starts to think that Hiro could be Erika's first friend. Then he hears Hiro crying, which makes him think that Erika said something wrong. After saying good things about his fiancée, he realizes that Hiro was simply crying out of excitement because she's friends with her favorite influencer. The thing is, Hiro starts to suspect that they both know each other by the way they look at each other. The thing is, as they return home, they find out that Erika is really bad at studying and was always helped by a tutor. So now Hiro proposes that she and Nagi study with her every morning in the library. I don't think this is going to end well. Chapter 6. Once the crazy pair gets home, Nagi tells Erika that he likes Hiro and even had the courage to confess his love to her, although she didn't reject him outright and simply has him on hold. Knowing that the protagonist is a Virgo and has no idea how to treat ladies, Erika decides to help him win over his crush. Since they live together, it's logical for them to arrive at the academy together. Nagi takes the train while Erika takes a taxi. However, the coincidence is so great that they both end up arriving at the same time just minutes before Hiro Hiro arrives. At first, Hiro starts to suspect them, especially when she notices they address each other by name. They manage to resolve the misunderstanding, but things get awkward when Erika dresses up as Cupid to bring them closer romantically. She starts listing the protagonist's qualities and what he's good at, but Hiro always has something better to say about him. She even reveals that she's a black belt in karate. As nothing seems to work, Erika notices how close she and Nagi are in the way they talk. Wanting to be close to Erika too, Hiro says she wants to go to her house. Erika assumes Hiro means her parents' house, which is good for Nagi, who could be at home enjoying solitary freedom. Little did he know, the girls show up and he has to rush to hide his otter that was practically hanging out. Turns out Erika's house is undergoing renovations, so she has no choice but to take them there. Nagi starts hiding and especially concealing his belongings so Hiro won't suspect anything. But being somewhat clumsy, he ends up slipping and causing a loud noise, alerting Hiro that someone else is there. Erika acts quickly and throws Hiro into the pool to give Nagi a chance to hide in her room. However, he hears the girls screaming and running toward the bathroom. When he goes out to see what's happening, he encounters the previous harassers, so once again, he deals with them and hides among the bushes, hoping Hiro will leave. Since Hiro wants to continue spending time with Erika, she invites her and Nagi to her house. They're both impressed because Hiro literally lives in a temple. While there, Nagi notices the attitude Hiro's mother has toward him and makes him realize that Hiro's commitment is to the temple, as the entire place will be in her hands and it's his duty to support her in maintaining the facade for many years. Furthermore, Hiro tells the protagonist that she shared that secret because she believes he won't mind and will be able to bear that burden with her. Oh, does that mean he's crowned or not? Chapter 7. This leaves the protagonist stunned, as now he spends the rest of the days very pensive in his room and at the same time somewhat motivated to try to conquer his waifu. In that moment, Erika appears to deliver a request given in class about an excursion where it would be a good opportunity for Hiro and Nagi to be alone on a nice date, as Erika doesn't want to go to that place because being famous and having wealthy parents, well, she could possibly be kidnapped, although now she even takes a taxi to go to school. With the idea that Erika presents to Nagi, he begins to think that it is his time to shine, so the guy runs very early to the library to ask her to be his companion on the excursion, receiving a good response from the girl. Knowing that, Nagi starts filling out the form with both their names and begins to come up with crazy ideas of what they will do on the excursion, although in the end, Hiro asks to have a competition to see who collects the most stamps. Once they have their excursion plan, they both leave together on a beautiful rainy afternoon. I say beautiful because, well, many of us like this type of weather. The thing is, once again, the protagonist with his balls firmly in place asks her if she will accept him once he beats her in the tests. The waifu tells him again about being engaged, but if there is someone who can beat her in everything, perhaps that person may be able to change her fate. This remotivates the protagonist and he starts studying like crazy. Then Erika comes in and tells him that a weirdo from the class will accompany them on the trip, where she now decides to go to distract the guy so that Hiro and Nagi can be alone. The day of the excursion arrives and we meet the Aries Knight Cheyenne. Oh no, sorry, I got the series wrong. The thing is, this guy is kind of stupid and crazy about Erika. He even asks the protagonist for advice and asks for permission to flirt with Erika, something that Nagi doesn't care about since, well, the guy is really there just for Hiro. The walk begins and both couples split up to do their own thing, but Nagi for some reason is worried about Erika, so he's paying attention to her all day long, practically leaving Hiro aside, and to top it off, he messes up by telling her that everyone should stick together as he is the group leader and blah blah blah, although Erika simply looked calm using Cheyenne as a cameraman. The thing is, Hiro, realizing that Nagi is acting like an idiot staring at Erika, decides to go alone to find her stamps in the temples. Erika tells the protagonist that he ruined her whole plan. There she tells him that they should at least take a picture with the word friends written in the sand, but due to destiny, once again a very nice photo comes out between them. At that moment, the protagonist asks her who the person she wants to talk to on social media is, where she tells him that if he finds out who that person is, his destiny will probably change. What? Chapter 8. But we'll all be left wanting to know, because who knows what the hell happened that the waifu didn't end up telling him anything and suddenly they were back home. You know, the power of the script. The thing is, Nagi is at home wondering if he should keep insisting on knowing who the person Erika is looking for is. Then the doorbell rings and by chance his older sister has come to visit to talk to Erika. Seeing that his older sister is not there, he decides to change clothes and act a bit mischievous around the house. Sachi, seeing that the protagonist is somewhat upset, gets the slight impression that he had an argument with Erika, so she forces him to tell her everything he knows. After giving him a good arm pull, they heard pull and thought of many dirty things. Nagi tells her what has been happening, and of course his sister tells him to stop being an idiot and to have the balls to ask her directly, which fills him with determination, and he agrees to resolve things as soon as possible. They quickly reminisce about about when they lived together, and to set a good atmosphere, the protagonist decides to make a special family meal. But out of nowhere, Sachi, somewhat upset, leaves the house because the protagonist said he was going to cook to have strength and be able to fight. This seemed to worry Sachi, and what she did was go get all her things to move to Erika and the protagonist's house. The crazy parents ask their son to convince her to come back home with them, something the protagonist tries to do but in the end loses the argument as it's two sisters against one. Besides, Sachi supposedly is there because she doesn't want to continue being a burden to her parents and wants to help them in some way. Erika, seeing that they could start throwing punches at any moment, takes her to her room where Sachi reveals the real reason why she's there. Turns out she misses her brother a lot and doesn't want to be separated from him. Nagi overhears this conversation through the door, so he informs the parents that the waifu will stay there for a few days and he will help her study. So now he has to accompany the girls shopping as Sachi doesn't have any clothes to wear, and in passing, the protagonist now sleeps on the couch since there aren't enough futons for Sachi to sleep in the room with her sister. So well, there we see the protagonist accompanying the fancy girls all over the city, where in the end he realizes they wasted the day since Erika ordered everything they needed online. So well, once home, the protagonist asks Erika about what she said on the beach, but before she could respond, he tells her he's not ready yet, so she responds that when he is, she'll let him know. Chapter 9. In a scene change while the protagonist studies, his dear stepsister comes out of the shower to let him know that he can use the bathroom now, where, by the grace of God, the towel falls off and we can't see the beautiful cleavage. The thing is, she notices that the protagonist has a text message from Hiro inviting him out on a date, which pisses off his stepsister, but Nagi is as happy as if he had won the Champions League. The guy dresses up nicely and goes out on his date with Hiro, who arrives looking so beautiful that she leaves the protagonist speechless. After some compliments, they both head to an amusement park where Hiro asks for couples discounted entry. Hiro's intention is for the protagonist to have fun to make up for leaving them on the excursion. The only problem is that this girl likes extreme emotions, leading our dear protagonist to the most extreme rides, which has our buddy Nagi on the verge of collapse. Hiro suggests that to do something calmer, they should go to the mirror maze. There the protagonist hallucinates seeing many copies of himself. He realizes that Hiro is next to him, where the dumbass trips and ends up kissing her. Damn, this is luck. But his happiness doesn't last long because what he kissed was a reflection of the girl, although she compliments him by saying she likes to see him blush, but well, while he's having fun. Sachi is in devil mode at home because she doesn't want to allow another girl to steal him even though he's supposedly engaged to her sister. Seeing her so pissed off, Erika decides to take her to clear her mind, so they go play on the batting machine, where Erika is so bad that she doesn't see the ball pass. After that, they go to the public hot springs and have a good relaxation while we have an ocular delight. But well, later at home, while Sachi mocks how stupid the protagonist looked in that outfit, as they go to sleep they hear the doorbell ringing in the middle of the night. All scared, not knowing who the hell it is, they go armed with brooms and sticks. But it turns out to be Erika's biological father. The guy takes everyone fishing, where we see the waifus calm while Nagi is dying from the dizziness. The intention of fishing was to have a better relationship with his two daughters, but well, there they start a competition to see who catches the biggest fish, where Nagi remembers that once his father told him that if he beat him in fishing he wouldn't bring him anymore. The protagonist sets out bravely to catch a huge fish, but ends up catching a practically tiny tadpole. In the end, the handsome father wins, but the good thing about all this is that they were able to bond as a family. Chapter 10. Months go by and Mother's Day arrives, a very special day where all of us seek the best gift for mom. There, Erika goes on a relaxation day with her mother, while Sachi and Nagi decide to go to the mall in search of the perfect gift. While browsing through the stores, they attract attention because they seem like a couple rather than siblings. But the problem for them is that they can't decide on the ideal gift for their dear mother, as nothing fits with her explosive and active personality. But as they keep thinking, they remember that what she likes the most is cooking. So the perfect gift would be an apron. The protagonist congratulates his sister and pats her head like a good brother he is, which embarrasses and annoys Sachi because she doesn't want him to treat her that way. It seems like the waifu wants him now. But anyway, they both leave the gift for their mother in the message box. Everything went wonderfully that day until Erika receives a message from her father that changes her attitude and forces the protagonist to quickly leave the house for an emergency. But once outside, they start wasting time in a bookstore and other places. Besides, neither the girl nor the protagonist brought wallets or cell phones to communicate. This is because Erika has no intention of seeing her father, as she has a slight feeling that he will force her to do something she doesn't want to do. At that moment, Sachi arrives home and meets Bruce Wayne, Nagi's father. The wealthy father takes her to one of his fancy hotels with a restaurant to ask her how she sees the relationship between Erika and Nagi. Sachi tells him that despite being completely opposite, they they end up fitting in certain things. That makes the old man see that Sachi is somewhat bothered that they're both engaged. The thing is, while Nagi and Erika enjoy the night fooling around, this is because Erika had intentions of returning home to confront the old man, but the protagonist told her, "Now you relax and me nervous, let's just have fun for a while to kill time." Sachi returns home telling the old man to keep her informed about what's happening between Erika and the protagonist. But here's where things get a bit weird when the old man returns to the hotel, because it turns out he takes a photo where we see Erika with a boy who looks identical to the protagonist. Wait a minute, how? Is Nagi Erika's brother? Chapter 11. But anyway, after leaving us with that intrigue, we see Sachi visiting her parents' business to help them out for a while, although she still has no intentions of staying as she has her sister at that moment. The protagonist is at home studying peacefully when suddenly a huge downpour begins. This great storm causes lightning to strike and cut off the electricity in much of the area. Erika, who easily gets scared, clings to the protagonist, where both have a few seconds of fixed gazes as if a kiss were about to happen. However, none of that happens, and they set out to look for the protagonist's phone, finding that the device has run out of battery and that Erika's has just died too. In the end, the miraculous candles save the moment. They start chatting about how their lives have been changing since they met. Then Erika remembers that there's an emergency kit in the entrance of the house that might have a power bank for their phones. Nagi in the dark goes to the place, but as he can't see anything, he ends up slipping on the water on the floor, and without knowing it, he falls onto Sachi, accidentally kissing her. The protagonist, thinking it's Erika, apologizes, but immediately the light returns to realize that he just kissed his younger sister. Upon seeing that it's just Sachi, he calms down and tells her to forget what happened since it wasn't anything serious. Sachi gets mad at the guy because obviously it's not something you forget overnight. This makes the waifu hate the protagonist, and she begins to ignore him at all times, but in class. Her classmates end up making things even more complicated because they talk about a series where coincidentally two siblings kissed, and well, practically the same thing happened. The protagonist, not knowing what the hell is going on, asks Erika if she knows anything. There he starts racking his brain to see what the hell happened, and he remembers the kiss. Erika, after transforming again and getting into sensual mode, explains to him that Sachi is no longer a child, that now she's a woman who will soon be of marriageable age. They realize that Erika and Nagi seem more like siblings than Sachi does. Suspicious. Despite the advice Erika gave him, Nagi isn't satisfied and asks for help from Hiro, who tells him to stop being insensitive and to say what he really feels. With that, the protagonist can apologize to Sachi and tells her that from now on he won't treat her like his little sister but like a woman. I mean, she's still his sister, but he won't treat her like she's 10 years old anymore. That way they start talking again and the problem is solved. Chapter 12. Due to all that, the protagonist thanks Erika for her help, where she tells him it's no problem and at the same time invites him to go shopping to remodel the rooms, but the guy rejects her as he had certain plans for the day. Turns out Nagi doesn't beat around the bush and decides to ask Hiro out on a date, although he does it in a different way by suggesting they should study math together. He does this with the intention of showing off and looking like a pro in the subject. Hiro agrees, but the idiot took her to the public library where talking is forbidden, although in the end, they both end up communicating through paper notes. After finishing studying, the protagonist runs out of ideas on where they should continue. Hiro, seeing that he's stuck like an old car motor, tells him to accompany her to her kickboxing training. There the waifu puts on her training clothes, allowing Hiro to feast his eyes for free on her ample bosom. Besides, he helps her train, although well, the waifu lands a punch that leaves him updating Windows. The thing is, the protagonist starts to have fun and also throws some punches for a while, where both are seen by Erika, who was still shopping. This angered the girl a lot since the protagonist rejected her outing to be with someone else, you might say. But if she doesn't want anything with him, why does she get angry? Well, Erika forces Nagi to go out on a date, taking him shopping and even to train, but she notices that the guy doesn't have the same silly smiley face he has with Hiro. Erika tells him that she wants to receive that smile from Nagi and that before she supported him with Hiro, now it seems that she doesn't think the same way, since she is his fiancée and he shouldn't be hanging out with other girls, because now Nagi might start to like her. What? Once she tells that to the protagonist, she runs off, where Nagi, like any man, is left wondering what the hell to do after that declaration. Besides, he also has a slight romantic feeling towards Erika, but at the same time, he likes Hiro. So to clear his mind, he goes to his parents' house to read a book, and there he sees a box with love letters that his father used to send to his mother. Like any curious person, he starts to read the letters where the father catches him and tells him that each one of those is every time he declared his love to the girl, since she was the prettiest and most popular girl in school and that by sheer luck and insistence he got her. The father tells him, "Look kid, close your eyes and believe in what your heart dictates. The first girl that comes to your mind, that's the one." The protagonist listens, and when he thinks of that waifu, all three of of them come to his mind at the same time saying her name, and with this thought, the guy sends a message to Erika telling her that he doesn't like her either. Chapter 13. But due to the thoughts that keep him confused, not knowing which waifu he will use his mysterious mouse tool with, the guy ends up in 13th place in the exams. This not only impresses the whole class but also leaves Hiro with a face of disappointment, or rather concern. Nagi feels like the world has crumbled beneath him and that he's now worthless for not being in first place, forgetting that his goal was to help his parents. Sachi, upon learning that it's the first time her brother has ranked in that position, is surprised. Erika, seeing this reaction, realizes that the dude probably doesn't want to live anymore, so the waifu goes to his room to tell him she wants to eat because she's been waiting for over 2 hours. They start arguing until Erika lets him know that whether he's first, second, or last in the rankings doesn't matter to her. He's still worth the same to her. Thanks to this, the protagonist goes into bull mode and feels reborn again. He takes a good morning shower, which ends up causing another problem because Erika enters the bathroom without warning and can witness the almighty Excalibur sword. Anyway, after that, he goes early to school to study as usual, but Hiro still hasn't arrived, with only Erika showing up there while they both start arguing because the important duty is to study. Hiro listens to them through the door, realizing that the protagonist is more lively than the day before. This seems to anger her, and later when the protagonist encounters her and tells her he's more lively because of the speech Erika gave him, the waifu becomes somewhat toxic and starts ignoring him. Nagi thinks he's lost all opportunity until he receives a letter from the girl in his locker asking to meet behind the school. The scared protagonist attends at the agreed time, and Hiro reveals that she was somewhat sad because she didn't know how the protagonist felt and that she wanted to be the one to cheer him up instead of Erika. This makes Nagi realize that he still has a chance with his waifu, and he goes crazy studying, where Erika asks him for the first time to help her study because she has a problem. If she doesn't pass the next exams, her parents will force her to return home. What? Chapter 14. So, the next morning, Erika, as usual, puts on a disguise to supposedly study seriously, and Sachi also joins them in captain mode because she has to study for entrance exams. The thing is, while Sachi studies seriously, Erika asks stupid questions, among them, why the hell is pi called pi and why does it have to be 3.14? The protagonist, with a face like, what the hell are you asking, tells her to screw off since practically if she keeps messing around, she won't be able to pass the exams. Erika, seeing that she can't do anything, gives up and decides that it's best to obey her parents and carry that destiny on her shoulders that she detests so much. In the evening, when the protagonist takes a break, he finds Sachi on the couch. She tells him that she can't sleep in the room because Erika is focused on studying. Nagi, upon hearing that, thinks about all the times Erika has helped him, so he enters her room with a tremendous kick to the door and encourages her to study. Moreover, he will bear her future because they are committed, and the problems she has will also be his problems. So after a long night of studying, the waifu manages to pass the test, so they celebrate as if there were no tomorrow, and Sachi invites Erika to the festival held in their neighborhood. There, the Umino family has a food stall where Hiro suddenly appears. Sachi becomes wary because she knows that girl wants the protagonist and basically ignores her. However, the protagonist introduces her as his sister, and their hero tells them that the festival is being held because her temple is sponsoring it, and she also invites the protagonist to a kind of date after he finishes his shift at the food stall. Now this romance is slow but effective, folks. Things keep flowing, sales are going great, and when night falls, Nagi stays behind washing dishes and tidying up the restaurant while Erika and Sachi dress up to stroll through the festival and then watch the fireworks. But here is where it gets complicated. It turns out that Erika bumps into Hiro and introduces Sachi as her younger sister. Oh, she messed up. Well, the protagonist's romance is looking ugly now. Chapter 15. But due to certain matters, Hiro has to take care of several tasks that his mother ordered, and Sachi has to help out at the Umino restaurant, so Erika and the protagonist will spend time together at the festival. So there we see what I imagine is done at all festivals: games to catch fish, carnival shotguns, and many games that have rewards after they take a lot of your money. You know, the typical gambling games. While Erika is focused on the games, the protagonist decides to go look for food for both of them, running into Sachi and her friends where he can hear the girls talking badly about him, but his sister defends him. Then while eating with Erika, who seems like she's never eaten before because she's getting all messy, the three usual harassing guys show up. They come for revenge against the protagonist. The dude, now angrier than ever, decides to beat them up, but the protagonist pulls off the greatest strategy of all, running away with his girl. He didn't do this because he was scared, but because he preferred to avoid the fight on such a great day for the people at the festival. Erika and Nagi end up on a bridge where they chat about how great they're having and can watch the fireworks together. At that moment, Hiro appears asking them why the hell they both have the same sister. Erika's first thought is to run away, but in the the end, they decide to reveal their secret to Hiro once Hiro is told he understands why they get along so well and promises to keep their secret. Although they forgot the small detail of telling him they live together too. But well, so once they separate and the protagonist accompanies Hiro, she asks him please not to keep any more secrets from now on, since practically it doesn't matter to her if he's engaged. Well, that look means she still loves him. Chapter 16. The little problem is that Sachi, his sister, isn't very happy with Hiro, so she asks her sister to accompany her in detective mode to investigate Hiro's daily life. There we see her doing groceries, and upon leaving, she stumbles upon a coin, which she hands over to the police in case the owner comes to collect it. Who the hell is going to the police for a coin? After that, we see her helping a kitten find a new adoptive family, and at the end of the afternoon, we see her playing with the kids. Practically, Hiro is the perfect girl every man would desire. Erika tells Sachi not to worry because the waifu is smart, athletic, and cheerful. However, Sachi is there, jealous that the protagonist likes this woman, so angry, she returns home, punches the protagonist, tells him that Hiro is too much of a woman for him and that she is now going to study at the same academy they study at, or well, that's her intention. So first, she goes to the academy to meet her and also takes the opportunity to fill out a form that she needed to submit to her school saying that she wanted to study at the academy next year. Everyone is amazed by Sachi's beauty. And that's where Hiro appears to be her guide, which worries the protagonist because he starts to think that Sachi will reveal the most embarrassing things that have happened to him. Then we see Nagi start spying on them until he realizes that there is some tension between the girls, but when he decides to go see what's happening, he realizes that both get along relatively well. Although be careful because it seems that they argued about something that we couldn't hear. Well, the thing is that Nagi is worried about his sister since the academy he attends is expensive and he's there because of the scholarship he managed to win, but since they come from a poor family, their parents will probably refuse to let her study there. So they decide to talk to the family where they quickly agree to let her study there, but they'll have to sell the family business for that, which upsets Sachi and leads to an argument with her mother where both are about to fight. And I say are because thanks to Erika, they managed to resolve the situation as they could look for other ways to raise enough money for Sachi to study at that institution. Chapter 17. Weeks go by and suddenly the idea of going to a summer camp to study arises. Sachi gets too excited because it would be the first camp she could attend, but in the end, she gets sick from the same excitement. So in the end, the one who ended up accompanying them was Cheyenne, because they wouldn't have been able to go to camp without 4 members. The idea that little guy has in mind is to hook up with Erika, and since he knows that the protagonist likes Hiro, he decides to support him. While they're at home, they realize they need to go shopping to survive. So Cheyenne and Erika go shopping while the protagonist stays with his well-endowed friend. With the two of them alone, they go for a walk around the area until they reach a lake where Hiro mentions that she only went on that trip because he would be there, since she doesn't like lounging around too much and has actually been having more fun because of him. While they have their moment, Cheyenne decides to confess his love to Erika, but he messes it up and out of fear, he can't tell her how he feels. There, the protagonist tells him that he has to beat Hiro 11 times in exams to be able to go out with her, where that idiot Cheyenne comes up with another plan. A test of courage in a temple in the forest. The idea is for them to go in pairs where Hiro should be with Nagi. I say should because suddenly Erika asks to be with the protagonist, taking him by the hand and running away from that place because she has something to tell him. Hiro realizes that Cheyenne wants to be with Erika, so she suggests that she could help him with his confession. I don't know if this is going to end well or very, very badly. Chapter 18. Well, the thing is, Erika chose Nagi because she has a slight problem. It turns out she's not wearing anything underneath because she forgot her belongings at home, so Nagi is the only one who can accompany her to a supermarket to buy underwear, as Hiro told her she could survive without anything, and the other options might likely be a bit sketchy. After that, they arrive at the temple where they spend a pleasant time, take a nice photo, and send it to Hiro, where Cheyenne decides to cancel everything since that temple is for blessing people who plan to get married. Once they gather, they prepare a barbecue, eat, talk, play, and end up stargazing, but Nagi has to quickly return to his village because he receives a message from his mother telling him that Sachi is in the hospital due to high fever. Once the protagonist arrives, Sachi, angry, tells him he shouldn't have gone because he was really looking forward to that trip for the meteor shower. Although she thanks him for being so concerned, the protagonist leaves a message for Erika, who understands the situation, and Hiro also supports her, so the next day when Erika returns home, she doesn't bother the protagonist for leaving. You know, the jokes about having siblingitis. Nagi feels that Erika is hiding something from him because she's been acting a bit strange since she arrived, all of this arising from a photo that Erika found at the summer house. Hiro saw that photo because it was face down, and that photo is where the guy who looks like Nagi is with Erika. That photo was put there by Erika's Erika's father for some strange reason. We don't know how far this old man wants to go. With all this happening and Nagi not knowing anything about the matter, he decides to ask the waifu again who the hell that person is that she's so desperately searching for. Chapter 19. It turns out that person is Nagi's older brother, Sosuke Amano, and he spent part of his childhood with Erika. The problem is that for some reason they were separated at birth, and since then Erika's family has been ignoring him as if he doesn't exist. That's why she's so connected to social media, as she aims to find him in any of his comments. Nagi isn't very surprised by this news. He takes it relatively normally and without giving it much importance because he feels that his sister is Sachi and no one else. However, he promises Erika to help her find her brother. What doesn't sit right with him is that they're hiding things from him. He also has the slight feeling that the way Erika and he get along is because Erika still sees him as her brother, and that's why there might not be a serious relationship leading to marriage. Nagi, somewhat annoyed, tells the girls to prepare something else to eat because he's going to see old man Amano. Once he arrives at the hotel, the guy starts getting dizzy with photos where Erika appears alone. Despite the protagonist trying in many ways to get some information out of him, the old man still can't say anything that helps him. On the contrary, he mentions that Sachi gets along very well with the protagonist. They've known each other for a long time, and even if they two manage to get married, they could solve all the problems. Chapter 20. Once Nagi returns home without any kind of information, Erika tells him that it was to be expected, so he doesn't care about what happened and asks him to take some juicy photos of her. However, this leaves Nagi pensive because he doesn't know how he could search for his brother, since being so alike would cause confusion and people might even think he's crazy for looking for himself. Hiro realizes that something is up with her buddy, so she invites him on a date, and a bike ride around the city takes him for ice cream, and they end up with a beautiful view of the sea where she feels happy because she could cheer him up this time. While that was happening, the old man again has dinner with Sachi to tell her that she could be Nagi's wife. Obviously, she thinks it's a good idea because it's very obvious that she likes him, but she still can't be honest with her feelings. So, upon returning home after arguing over silly things with the protagonist, they both end up at the supermarket because she was hungry, and since there wasn't much at home, they went shopping. The thing is, when they return after having calmed down, Sachi throws the bomb question at the protagonist. What would he do if she asks him to marry her? What? There, the protagonist, like any brother, tells her, whoa, this can't be because we're siblings. However, he remembers that she's not really his sister, so he ends up blushing. Well, basically he can be with her, but it would be weird, although in the end, the girl tells him it was just a joke. Chapter 21. In a change of scene, we see that exams return, and once again the protagonist rises from the ashes like a phoenix, ending up in first place in the class. Because of this, Hiro invites him to the rooftop where she congratulates him for his achievement. There, the protagonist asks her to be his girlfriend again. However, she still doesn't accept but tells him that she wishes he were her fiancé. Dude, you're almost there. This boosts the protagonist's ego, and he starts boasting in front of the girls that Hiro confessed to him, which excites Erika a lot because she supports their relationship. Except for Sachi, she's angry and jealous of Hiro. Because they are doubtful about whether Hiro is really in love with the protagonist, they propose a trip to the beach for the summer vacation to discover what Hiro feels. So, the protagonist and Erika go shopping for everything they will use, and when they return home to let Sachi know they have everything, they find Hiro at home. From that moment, the waifu finds out that the protagonist and Erika live together because Sachi invited her to help her study. While at the beach, we see some beautiful fan service, and at the same time how Hiro is angry with the protagonist for hiding that from her. Nagi decides not to give up and apologizes for everything. Hiro tells him that she's mad at him because he promised not to lie to her anymore, but this time she'll let it pass, although if he does it again, she'll curse him. Besides that, Hiro apparently told him that Sachi likes him, so Nagi, without fear of success, asks the blonde if she wants to have something with him, something he shouldn't have asked because he receives a tremendous beating. Chapter 22. Sachi quickly confronts Hiro about why she told her that. Supposedly she's not interested in the protagonist, and the last time they met at school, Hiro told her she was engaged and couldn't do anything, but by saying that, it would create more confusion and make it clear to Sachi that despite being engaged, she also wants a chance with the protagonist. Well, the thing is, then the protagonist takes a refreshing bath in the jacuzzi without wearing anything, where Erika ends up joining him in a very enticing way, although in the end, he gets too embarrassed and decides to get out of there showing his great sword, leaving the girl surprised again for her to insult him and tell him he's an idiot because the jacuzzi is for getting in with clothes on. Bedtime arrives and they realize there are only 2 beds, so they end up sharing a room where Hiro and Erika play and have an excellent bath, and then before falling asleep, Hiro asks Erika if she could stay with Nagi. But well, the thing is that there, and the next morning, Erika has a flashback of her past where her brother had brought those games to that place. The weird thing is that both the game and the soapy product had recently purchased dates. Also, when connecting the video game console, there was a saved game from 3 days ago. Seeing that, the protagonist sets out to look for him throughout the city, where Erika and he make the greatest effort to find him, but in the end, they get the same result as always: zero information. Chapter 23. The thing is, it's time to head back home, and for some reason Hiro tells them that both she and Nagi will take the train as they have something to do first. This raises suspicion with the girls, but they still leave them alone. Hiro takes him to a temple she saw in the area to get the seal. After that, when they are about to return, they get caught in a storm. This prevents the trains from running, and since that place is very far from the city of Tokyo, they will have to spend the night in a small hotel. In that place, they pretend to be adults, and we see how Hiro behaves like a bad girl. While they play and mess around, they start to connect more until an unexpected slip makes them face each other, where the waifu asks him to do naughty things. Today, Mouse Tool premieres. Although in the end, she leaves him looking like a clown. Well, the naughty thing she wanted to do was to drink spirits. The protagonist refuses because she is an exemplary girl who shouldn't do that kind of thing, although he liked seeing her with that slightly rebellious attitude. As Erika and Sachi are annoyed by what they might be doing, they come to them like cops, where Nagi gets the scare of his life as he thinks they discovered the lie about their age. So he makes up a story in his head about how he would lose his university career and how Hiro would marry her fiancé, but well, in the end, the girls rescue the couple and take them back to the city, where Hiro only leaves to their imagination the things that happened between them. Final chapter. The summer vacation continues, and the cool blonde dad invites them to his birthday, where the three siblings gather and have a pleasant time. They also take out the photo album, and we see how Nagi has been with them since he was a baby, raising even more doubts about who the hell that brother of theirs might be. In the conversation they have, their mother tells them that they don't intend to force them to marry, that it will be a decision they make on their own, as what they most want is for everyone to live together as a beautiful family. Erika, upon hearing this, resolves to confront her father so that from now on he will let her choose for herself, but that will have to wait as she ends up getting sick while studying. The girls do everything they can to help her, but they can't get her to eat, until Nagi gets angry and enters her room to reason with her, as she fell ill from the strain she put herself under to make the girls feel comfortable and give them an excellent summer. But she never cared for herself. He knows all this clearly because he is her fiancé, so knowing this, Erika improves quite a bit, and Sachi and Hiro overhear the entire conversation. Sachi, being practically a spy, tells the hotel king everything that happened, where he doesn't get upset. On the contrary, he thinks the same as the other parents, and that only they should decide what to do with their future, but for now, they might apparently be a beautiful family and both manage to get married. If you want more epic anime, comment the word romance, and with this, I'll look for another similar anime that might interest you.